Hello and welcome to pre-game for the Taranaki versus Manawatu. Just behind me down there you can see that big shiny thing is the shield that they'll be playing for. That's the Ranfurly Shield. And what you might kind of pick up just yet, because it's still quite early on, it's kind of empty. I'll do a quick show before the actual kickoff. Is some people there behind the stands. All that yellow, yeah, that's a side stand. It's empty because, hey, it's not earthquake proof. If we pan around here, you'll see there's some fans behind the posts on this side. And if I go all the way around here, that's now the sheds, a couple of porta cabins, because again, this stand behind me is also not able to be used because of earthquake problems. So it's going to be a bit strange tonight. In a ground where there's only players at each end. We're going to see how only players at each end, only fans at each end. We're going to see how that kind of affects the atmosphere, and it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that kind of pans out. Also, so this week is as I say, it is that. There you can see it there, Ranfurly Shield Challenge match. So you've got Taranaki, who lost last weekend at Bay of Plenty, and if we look at their pre-season games, they tend to go out, get some early points, and then kind of struggle, and then kind of ease off after that. They're going to have to keep that pace up because Manawatu Turbos last weekend against Waikato, they ran them off the pitch, and that was so fitness is going to be a big thing here. Expect Taranaki to get out to an early lead. The question then is, can they hold on to it as Manawatu try and come back? I think that's basically going to be the story of the game, but we'll see how it all goes. A couple of players sort of strolling past me out on the pitch. They're all still doing their warm-ups. Obviously a lot of you guys are probably still watching the Otago versus Hawke's Bay game that's going on at the moment. But yeah, the players are heading out there doing their warm-ups. It's a bit strange being in a ground where you can't go on either side. You have to be at each end. But hey, the fans here are really looking forward to this. You don't get opportunities like this very often with the Ranfurly Shield. Manawatu haven't held the Ranfurly Shield for 40 years. Okay, so a lot of the fans in Manawatu will have never ever seen their team hold it. This is a big night for them. I know, talking to their coach, talking to their players last night, that they really have not talked about the Ranfurly Shield side of it. They did last year when they had a challenge, and they all fizzled out. And it was they hyped it up too much, so they've deliberately not tried to talk about it. But it's clearly, having talked to their coach last weekend, is one of their two big goals this year. One is the Ranfurly Shield, the other is to win the championship. Taranaki, coming off the back of that poor performance against Bay of Plenty, have really got to step up their game this weekend, because there are a couple of sides in that championship that are very strong. Bay of Plenty being one of them, Manawatu being another. Hawke's Bay have also actually shown up well as well. So yeah, just because they're in the championship does not make them poor teams. They're still up for a good old fight. And of course Taranaki, with their new coach, hope to have a chat with him after the game. He's actually younger than some of his players, which is kind of amazing to think about, and how he's handling that and being head coach for the first time, and not being assistant to Colin Cooper, who obviously is now at the Chiefs, whereas in Ranfurly very much a settled coaching setup. A lot of players have come through that, and yeah, even though they would like to have had their All Blacks, in both sides would have done. Let's be honest, you've got to play with who you've got, and tonight is going to be a bit of a cracker. So stick around. I'll be back at half-time and full-time to let you know what's happened, and I'll try and get a few pictures as well. And I say, after full-time, try and get an old chats, a couple of the coaches and also some of the players. At Yarrow Stadium, I was asked, why do we have the empty stands on either side? Well, that's because neither of them are earthquake proof, and so hence that's why they're not that's why they're empty. But we do have fans in both of the ends, and Taranaki have got a commanding 31-14 lead at half-time. They got in front early on, they got pegged back, but then they managed to keep themselves in front the whole time. Definitely using their width well, with this was a good 12, 13, 11 combination when attacking down the left, which is where two of their tries have come from. And then the final one, the 8 off the back of the scrum. after after mistakes by Manawatu Turbos, and that's what the last 2 tries were, from mistakes. I mean, there was a charge down and then a fumble of the ball. So in both those situations, Manawatu have not helped their own cause towards the end there. They were keeping themselves competitive up until that point. Behind by 2 tries and a penalty. That's going to be some sort of comeback by Manawatu if they're going to take the Shield. I think they're probably giving themselves a little bit too much, even if they do pride their fitness. I think it'll get closer, but I still think that they're going to struggle to pull this one back. Ty Walden, Tamanivalu and Masueli in that, so that's that 12, 13, 11 combination have been looking pretty good and strong, and I think Taranaki have stood up tonight. The only question is going to be their fitness, if they can keep it going for the full 80. A 2 tries or 3 score buffer is at half time is definitely a good start for them. So Taranaki won that game 41-21, and we did see the comeback that I thought we were going to get from Manawatu, but it was all too little too late. Early in the game, Taranaki took the lead with some lovely play down the left wing, and that was all from the strength of their 12, 13, 11 combination of all Super Rugby players, and then we saw Manawatu managed to come back with a try, and it was all a bit ding-dong in that first sort of quarter of the game, where Taranaki got themselves out to a 17-14 lead, so a narrow lead after that first quarter, and Manawatu were making a real good fist of it. Then, just before half-time, that second try was down to a charge down, and just before half-time they failed to collect it in their own 22 and knocked on, and then off the back of a scrum, the Bulls managed to get themselves up going into that half. Straight after the half, they did the sensible thing. They kicked 3 points early on to get that first score, and managed to put enough pressure on Manawatu that they were making mistakes, knock-ons and so forth in their own half, giving up territory to the Taranaki, and Taranaki managed to come away with the points. And so in that period after half time they pulled it out to 41-14, at that point it was quite clearly all over. Manawatu did come back and get themselves a try through Rob Thompson, obviously, who's had a great season with the Highlanders this season, but it was all too little too late really. It was in that period just before and just after half time where Taranaki managed to take it away and seal the win. Taranaki were very happy with their scrum today. That dominated at the set piece. Manawatu had problems at the scrum and also occasionally at their line-outs as well. And clearly in the backs, when you've got Walden, Tamanivalu, Matueli, you're going to get some joy there. And so with that back line, they also had some strength. Obviously, Name Scudder tried his hardest but didn't really manage to unlock the Taranaki too much. And as far as Manawatu were a bit unlucky when they forced mistakes out of Taranaki, like a charge down. Taranaki managed to get back and touch it down for a 22 drop out rather than giving up a try. Whereas when similar things happened to Manawatu, Taranaki managed to capitalise and turn it into points. And that was basically the story of the game. Manawatu's the few mistakes they forced they couldn't capitalise on, and their mistakes were capitalised on by Taranaki. So Taranaki hold on to the Shield. It's going to be longer than they're going to add on to their 40 years of not holding the Shield. Manawatu are going to keep counting until they get another try. But yeah, Taranaki defend their Shield well, and what a good game. So I'm going to try and catch hopefully some of the players or the coaches after the game for a bit of a chat and see if they agree with me on how it all went. So here after the Shield competition, and basically your own errors let you down, or were a bit struggling that sort of towards the end of the first half, really?
Oh, I think right the way through the game, we just couldn't put pressure on, and coughed the ball up in many different ways. So even short of just handing it to them, we were innovative in the way we made errors too. So can't argue with that.
But in that sort of the first 20 minutes when you got into their half, you did get points, so you could score, but it was a problem of just getting out your own half.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't exit well, and we didn't maintain pressure in their end of the field as well. So, but we showed you did right. A couple of tries there, and we were in it, but couldn't maintain that.
And then, pretty much like last week, showed your fitness to come back in the last sort of quarter as well. Still.
Yeah, we had a carrot there, just trying to get 4 tries for a championship point. Couldn't quite manage that due to errors right at the end. But the boys are not unfit. They've got some ticker as well, so they keep going.
They do, yeah. They tried right to the end, and never mind. And also, as you say, you're one of the fittest sides in the tournament, so that'll help you towards the latter end of the season as well, hopefully.
Well, we just got to maintain the squad overall fitness. As far as injuries go, we had a few of those again today, so they're starting to mount up at this early stage of the season. But yeah, long way to go yet.
Cool. Thank you very much, and have a good trip home.
Okay, thanks.
Hello, and here we are after a successful defence of the Ranfurly Shield, and you must be happy that with how the team played.
Yeah, well, look, it's been probably a bit of a challenging week after Bay Plenty taught us a good lesson over in Rotorua. So, yeah, look, we've worked really hard this week. Obviously, reviewed pretty well following that loss, and focused on a few solutions which we saw tonight. So, pretty happy with the boys. And
they managed to also get score on the board first and kept their heads in front the whole time. So must be so happy that they sort of controlled the pace of the game as well.
Yeah, I think so. Look, I think definitely for the first half, we certainly did. Probably the second half was a little bit patchy. I thought Manawatu played some really good rugby in that second half block. So yeah, there was something we'll certainly review come tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, you forced them to pressure them into errors, especially in that sort of the around half time, which gave you the territory. Your scrum got on top and you got points. But perhaps something that we saw in pre-season as well, sort of fading towards the end. Oops, there go the lights. Fading towards the end of the game. A bit of fitness to work on.
Yeah, look, I don't think it's fitness. It's probably more combinations, and it's us working on that during the week and making sure that people are really clear on their roles, etc. We've got a really fit group. We've got a great trainer in Adam Hay, and we get a lot of PBs in the gym and whatever else. So not fitness, probably just more combinations and familiarity for the players.
Cool, and perhaps a bit of a left field one, but how does it feel being sort of younger than some of the players you actually coach?
Someone said that to me the other day. I played with Jared Hoyata. I think he's 1 year older than me. Kane Thompson might be 2 years older than me. Look, I'm used to it. I was my first head coach role at my club. I was 28 then, and there were a couple of 40-year-olds in there. So it's it's you treat people how you want to be treated, and you respect people, and it doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah, I was going to say you've been coaching for several years. It's not like your first year out away from playing, but yeah, you still are a young coach. And yeah, congratulations on the Shield win.
Yeah, thanks so much. Cheers.
Thanks for your time.
No worries. Thanks, mate.
Cheers.